G'day guys, we've got a review shotgun to look at today. So this was loaned out to me by H&S Firearms with some ammo to test it. I've had it for about 3 weeks and it is the AXOR BUSHPIG BP 28. So this is the black synthetic version. So this is a folding button release shotgun. You can break the action by pulling back on the rear sight and it hinges there just in front of the mag tube. For loading these, you can load them either traditionally through the loading gate or you can break the action and load it through the mag tube there. One thing to note, if you load the tube and then go to drop around the chamber, that there will throw the mag release and it'll spit all the shells out. You can also unload it by pushing your mag button there and dropping all the shells. So you can unload them very quickly. It's just worth noting. So I had one night where I was going to grab it from out the case in the back of the ute in the tray and it hooked on the charging handle, threw all the shells in the bag, pain in the ass. But if you know how to store it and pick it up carefully without racking the handle, you're going to be fine. It's a Category A shotgun, in Victoria at least. Check your state's regs for what it's classed as over there. It's a 5+1 capacity for 2 3/4 shells and a 4+1 capacity for 3-inch shells. That being said though, it is only recommended to be gassed for 28 gram to 36 gram shells. So if you're going to run 3-inch Magnum shells, just probably contact the manufacturer first and see if it's actually rated for them. These models retail for about $1,000 Australian. There's slight variances in price between the BUSHPIG XT, which is the tactical model with a few extra accessories and pick rails and that on it, and the base models. But yeah, they're all around the $1,000 mark. Included in the price, it comes with a chamber flag, a soft case, and 5 choke tubes, and a couple of stickers, manuals, all the usual stuff. So on the 28-inch barrel version, it's just got fairly basic open sights. It doesn't have a ventilated rib, which personally I prefer for wing shooting or field stuff. It does come with a pick rail already fitted though, so I've done what I think most people are going to do and fit a red dot to this.
Get him, man.
It's a fairly utilitarian design. I wouldn't exactly call it a good looking shotgun, but functional nonetheless. It's got checkering panels on the foregrip and the pistol grip. The synthetic stock, although it's a cheap plastic, it's reinforced fairly well, so it doesn't actually feel too flimsy. Fairly nice recoil pad on it. Soaks up a lot of recoil from the gas system as it is, but yeah, with that it's very, very nice to shoot and you can rack it fairly fast. You've got your button release on the back there on the tang, and then like most tube fed shotties, you got your tube release at the end there. All the pattern testings went fairly well with it. Do some quick pattern tests with the AXOR BUSHPIG. Got a selection of shot shells to try, some 36 gram BB Winchester Super X's, some 32 gram Super Ranger number 4s, H&S, they there buckshot, 6.2 mil buckshots. I'm not sure what that equates to, probably double O's or something. And then a handful of slugs, so some Winchester Defenders, some Winchester Super X's, and then some Federal Power Shocks. That's the Super X number 4, 32 gram shells at 30 meters. That's the 36 gram BBs with the full choke. shot shell at 30 metres with a full choke. It shot slugs exceptionally well, especially for just standing with a red dot sight at 50 metres. Well and truly minute of pig, minute of deer accuracy. We'll start with federal power shocks at 50 metres. It is not bad. That's 3 shots with the power shocks at 50 metres. Might just give it a few clicks to the right. Right, next up we've got the Winchester Super X 1 ounce slugs. Oh no, up.
Turned it off.
Yeah. So the 3 Winchester Super X's, and looks like our adjustment was pretty damn good. Okay, last up we've got the Winchester Defender 1 ounce slugs, so we'll try these as well. And those are the Defenders. And again, perfectly acceptable accuracy for slugs. The action where it locks with a single 7mm dowel pin on the rear. I'm a little bit apprehensive of how well that's going to last over years of breaking and closing the action, especially if you're going to be slamming it. If you're gently closing it and then locking it by hand would be my recommendation. Like, although it's not actually load bearing with the way the action's going to be forced back during recoil, I just tend to think that that's probably going to loosen up if it's abused and not closed delicately. So that's one sort of concern I do have with the hinge mechanism. That being said though, it did make it very easy to transport around and actually carry in the field. So for carrying it, I was finding most of the time I was carrying it over my shoulder like that, rather than putting a sling on it. All the machine surface on it for the most part are fairly acceptable. There's some strange angle grinder marks on the shell lifter, which I'm a little bit baffled by. I honestly don't understand what they're doing in there or why it's been hit with a grinder. I'll take a clip of that and put it in. The rest of it, reasonable fit up. It's not a high-end European shotgun, but it's more than functional. And all the external stuff anyway, like it's decently well finished on the perimeter. Gets a little bit haggard the closer you look inside, but it's all functional. The finish on the barrel, it's probably the biggest downfall on any of the external stuff. So the paint or Cerakote or whatever it is on the barrel, it chips and rubs really easily. It's I don't think it's going to hold up over years of dragging around the scrub or throwing in vehicles, which again, it's fairly utilitarian. I don't think it's going to bother too many people, but it's, yeah, a couple of years' time, these are probably all going to be looking pretty rough is my expectation. The button release latch on this is a little bit heavier than what I'd personally like. You can still rack it off fairly quick and get the hang of it, but it's definitely not as light compared to my Verni Caron. So as a utilitarian shotgun, I think these are going to serve most people pretty well. It's definitely not going to be the nicest shotgun in the world, but it'll go bang every time you pull the trigger. They shoot well enough. For me personally, if I was going to set up a dedicated pig shotty, which we don't have many pigs around here, but hypothetically if there were, I'd go for the Bushpig XT model. You've got a few extra shells to carry around, some pick rail on the front if you want to run a torch and a laser, and a little bit more compact. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this.